Okay, there's no one home. Hello, welcome back to the channel. So let's see how much we can do before someone comes home, because someone will probably be home very shortly, honestly, before I get this done. So let's have a little play. I have the Lavender and Roses foil die cuts. I didn't plan on showing this, but let's do that. I don't have the full range. I've got the silver foil Lavender Roses. So it's got, can you see that? It's a bit hard. Oh, you can sort of see it because you've got the reflective plastic and everything else, but it's all foiled. I've also got the rose gold and I've got the silver. But I think today, I don't really have a plan for this, so let's just see what happens. These are the Pastel Wax Seals Embossed die cuts. They are really pretty. I've got waxes to play with. Have I done that? Yeah, no, but you know. So, little roses, and of course they're all, you can sort of see that with the light reflecting, you know, they're embossed, so they're raised up. So there is, let's see how many of each sheet. Oh, there looks like there is 4 completely different, well, you know, they're repeated. They're probably repeated. I'm assuming they're repeated. I'm yet to find something that's repeated, apart from the butter. Oh, there you go, the butterfly, but different colours, and the star, of course. So there is more than one of each, but they're really super nice. I also have 2, I can't pick them up, 2 die cut circles out of another project that I did for a class that I taught recently. So we're going to see whether I can use, I'm assuming this little one, but we'll see what happens. These foiled ones, and these are already perforated. They just need to have a tiny little bit trimmed off. There we go. So I'm thinking something very easy and simple to do with these. So that's different from that one. There's going to be some that are probably the same, but that one's different. That one's different. And there's one more. So there you go. So some of them are very similar, but some of them are very different. See, that's really, I don't know, it's still different. Ignore me. Don't worry about me. It's all good. And the Inky colour. Now, you could do these with foils, like alcohol inks, but it's all done for you. Like, it's, how's that for a pretty little tree? And then 2-sided. They're already done for you, so it makes it really easy to do a pretty little card. These are stunning. I've seen people do these behind, you know, see-through elements. I'm thinking like the cover plates, but I'm actually thinking of paper rose, the border. What are they called? I don't know. You have a strip in the middle of the card that you've got. There's one with butterflies. There's other ones that have had like a brickwork, roses, lots of different things. I've seen people do that. I think it was Donna, but I'm not too sure. That's really pretty. So they're really gorgeous, and clearly you're going to get a couple of each design. I think 3 of each design. So that's gorgeous. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm really liking this tree. And it makes these cards really easy and simple. So my little, these little babies, he's just about falling out. So they're nice and easy to come out. I think I'm going to edit this out, probably. I'm thinking a leaf or a flower, but I'm also looking at the colours of them and sort of making sure the colours are going to go So I like these yellows. I don't want it to, you know, completely disappear in the cardstock. I want it to stand out. So this is a yellow, this yellow sort of thing. Even though we've got this yellow, it's a lot darker, a lot deeper yellow, and of course it's quite different from that. So I'm liking that. And that one has a little rose, which is uber nice. Do we have a little leaf in that? No, I think the rose has it. So I just pop them out and then I trim them up. Of course, you can cut these with a little knife, but my scissors are right there, so I don't know. I was going to say I'm lazy, but I'm not really lazy, but I'm selective with my energy output. But it's a moot point, really. Well, there's a little bling. It's a moot point because, you know, it doesn't really matter. So a lot of the background is going to be hidden, so we don't want to hide that too much, do we? So let's pop this baby out. Now I do, if needed, this is where I might need it. Scissors, not scissors, a knife. Where needed, I do trim these up. And so I might get two elements and I might use them, you know, more than one sort of spot on the card. If it's hidden, I'm not going to stress with trying to keep it as one whole element because it's not going to be seen. So what's the point? The tree is very much going to be hidden, I think. What else do we like? I don't think I want another bow. I think I want one of these. Let's see. I should cut these out. Helen, if you are watching this, because I know you watch my channel, love you. How's it going? What's happening? Leave me a comment on where you are and what are you up to and what shenanigans are you doing. Helen is in, last I heard she was in America. She was in Virginia. So that is, the ribbon is going to be totally hidden, I think. So that's really nice. Good on her. Actually, I think I like this one better. So this range is really nice. As I said, they've still got the, I have to use my brain, the silver, the rose gold papers. We should have a quick look at those because they are really nice too. Let's have a quick look. Now I can't remember the on the website and what it looks like, but I'm hazard to guess, and it's purely my guess, that all these are very, let's find the, oh that's clearly double. Someone's here. That was a very quick exit, wasn't it? Anyway, so now I'm over on voiceover. So these papers are really pretty. They're single-sided, as you can see. So you've got the gold, there's the rose gold, and there is the silver. This particular card, I'm just using the the gold. And as I mentioned before, I'm getting a little bit more wear out of this die cut because it's all being put in the same spot. We're just making it a little bit bigger, so to speak. As I mentioned, if you need to do it, I don't see, like, get more bang out of your buck because I like to do that, as we all like to do that. This is the Australian size stitched rectangles for a card front. So I've trimmed that down. Clearly I've got a little piece left over. I also have a frame, but we'll come back to that later on. I'm putting together my little element. Got foam all on the back of these ones, and now I'm just going to use the foam and take off the backing and make my bouquet basically. So these cards are pretty simple and pretty straightforward really, because we've played around with it. I don't really like to say they're simple, but we have made it a lot easier because the card is using the pattern paper. You've already got the die cuts. So there is an element of ease with these cards that we don't have to think too much about. Well, we have to think about where we're putting them, don't we? But you know what I mean? Like you just can, it takes a level out of it as well. And you know they're going to be pretty. This particular card, what you saw me do just there is basically going to be it. Now the photos and everything don't really do it justice because it's really hard to bring up the gold in the photos. I will leave a link down below over to the website and you can check them out for yourselves, but it is a little bit, foil cardstock can have an element of hard to photograph because I look at it and it looks pretty, very pretty, but sometimes in the photos they just look black. Is that just me? Is it just my eyesight? Because it could be just my eyesight. But the last thing I'm going to do with this one, let's leave that. This circle is not going to stay, people, okay? Never stress. Don't stress. I thought about using it. I really wanted to use it up, but she is not going to work. It's just too much for this particular card. I'll save it. I'll use it for another one. I've got little tiny leaves here that I'm just adding here, there, and making sure that they all fill out my little bouquet, my little sprig. It's almost like a little sprig. I don't think it is, but I digress. Let's keep moving. So this circle is not going to be used. My sentiment is out of the Deer and Bunny stamp set. I'm just going to use the Best Wishes. I am going to gold emboss that because we have the gold foil on the die cuts and it seemed very, very fitting for me. So ignore the fact that I'm stamping this down in Memento because I am going to stamp it down, but I'm not going to use it. It's going to sit on my... I think I threw it back into the stamp set because that was the original aim to do that, but it's not going to do this. I am actually going to heat emboss it, which clearly I either forgot to press record on the machine or accidentally deleted it, which could be known. So I have a little tiny sentiment there, so it'd be fine, but this I've trimmed it down even lower. So I've got the gold embossing. Oh, that's right, the machine. I forgot to press play. I remember now. This panel here is the original. This little frame that I have is what I just trimmed off to make that panel a little bit smaller. One side of this, ignore this peak because I sort of realized afterwards it's like, no, you want to ink. You want to ink it, Nat. You want to ink it. One side of that frame is a little bit thicker than the other side, but I'm going to be aware of that when I put it down. And I'm going to make sure the thicker side is going to be on the side that I need to trim up because it's not quite perfect. There is an overlap of a little bit, and so that is going to be trimmed off. I have Stormy Sky here. We're just going to go through. I am going to re-ink this because I think it was a little bit dry. but it's a very light colour either way, so it doesn't matter. The other colours I've got, the next colour is going to be the Wild Honey. And then Crackling Campfire is our third. So I'm just trying to give it a nice smooth, it looks very yellow there, doesn't it? It's not really, it's very orange, but I don't know whether it's just my computer coming up, but whatever it is. Anywho, I tend to go over my ink blending 2 times. I do have a sticky mat, but I don't really like to use it with the ink blending. And plenty of people do, but I haven't brought myself to do it yet. Anywho, I've dried all that off. These are the panels that I was talking to you about. So the one on the right hand side is a lot thinner, so that's the side that I'm going to make sure is lined up even with it, and the top is a little bit bigger obviously as well, so we're going to trim him down a little bit. That's all done. The power of editing. This, I've added a little bit of foam, and this is going to be placed in the middle, of course. And this is going to actually be the other side. So what we've just adhered down to the card base is actually the opposite, is the flip side of the same paper. I'm sure that you're all thinking like, of course not, we saw that, we noticed, but I'm just letting you know just in case. So we've got the 2 flip sides, and I thought it was just fun. I thought it was interesting. I have kept the orange down the bottom with it. Well, it's up the top, but I've kept the orange on the paper with the orange of the inking. This time around, again, it's hard to see. I have rose gold and gold. I have 2 of each. I'm going to place these. The layout of this card is pretty much the same as the other one, except we've got the frame, we've got the inking, but this little bundle, this little sprig is going to be a little bit different. I decided it was a bit too stark, so where the flowers are, I've got the Crackling Campfire. Now, I have not re-inked my sponge, and clearly I'm using a very different pressure when applying this because I thought it would be fun, a little bit different. That was a Crackling Campfire. You just rub it off with a little bit of not a damp cloth, but rub it off with a clean cloth just to get it off the foil because it will resist that. This is iced spruce for my greenery, and I thought this went really quite nicely with the rest of the colours in the card. And it just basically took off that stark green, a stark white, because nothing else is white. The only other thing that's going to be white is around the wax seals and the sentiment. But it was just too strong, a little bit too strong. I have a lot of foam tape. These bottom ones are going to be glued down flat, but these other ones are going to have a lot of foam tape just to raise them up and give it a little bit of extra dimension. And then my wax seal is also going to have a foam on the back of it because, you know, it's dimension. Like, we all love a bit of dimension, do we not? I think we do. The glue that I'm using is it's just the liquid paper, the liquid glue by Paper Rose. And I have put it in a little squeezy bottle to give it a little bit of a finer tip. I just found it was a little bit too big for my liking. So and it was pretty easy. You just squirt it in, put the tip on, off you go. That's it. I had a little bit of foam that was going to overlap my other sprig that has the foam on it. So I've just removed that a little bit. And the lucky, almost not quite lucky last thing, is a bit of foam on the back of this and raise him up. Now my foam is very, very low profile foam. The next thing I've got is the Happy Birthday sentiment strips. Now there is black, there is gold. I don't know if you can see that. This is actually all gold foil, so it's going to blend in really well, or just go well, not blend in, but go well with the rest of our card. And I've got a birthday, what do I have? Birthday hugs. So in real life, you can see in that front sprig of, I want to call it greenery, but it's not green because, you know, it's foiled, is a rose gold. And then I've got another rose gold at the back. The rest is the gold that I mentioned. So this sentiment with the gold just goes really nicely. And I'm going to tuck him underneath my wax seal. I do have a tiny little bit of foam on either end of my sentiment just to lift him up and just give him a little bit of support. The rest is going to be glued onto my little sprigs. I think actually what's underneath there is a little ribbon, but you can't really see it. The final thing, what I've done with both cards is I have put the clear crystal mix over my card just as an embellishment. This is strictly speaking, it's a shaker mix. It's called a clear crystal shaker mix, I think it is. But I think they're just so pretty. I use them as embellishment when I want a little bit of texture, but I don't want anything that is too colourful. I just want something that's very subtle. And I use them a lot. If you watch any of my cards before or watch any of my channel, I usually put them on pretty much everything, honestly, just about. So my 2 cards are almost done. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. That would be amazing. And you will have a link down below over to all the products that I've used today and a link over to the website. So that's, I'm going to put him onto my card base. And that is going to be it. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying these wax seals and the foil lavender and rose collection as much as I am. And we will see you very, very shortly for another little bit of inspiration. That's my 2 cards. You can see it a bit better there. That's it. Take care. I'll talk to you very soon.